What's up, everyone? Aaron Negler here, Cheesehead TV, coming to you live. I am solo at the moment. Hopefully, will join me momentarily, but I wanted to get on here and talk about the news of the moment. Jared Veldheer signing with the Green Bay Packers, because why not? Because if you're playing on, what is it, Saturday, and you are playing for the Colts in Buffalo, and it's cold, and you're getting beat, and then all of a sudden you lose, and you're like, my season's over. And then Brian Gutekunst gives you a call and says, hey, you were on the practice squad, so you're still eligible to sign with Green Bay. Why don't you do that? Of course, you're going to say, Jared Veldheer, he only plays in the playoffs. The regular season, that's for other people to worry about. But for Jared Veldheer, it's all about the playoffs and getting that ring because that's what he's going to do in Green Bay. Now, we'll see if he, is much more than depth this weekend. I would suspect, I don't know for sure, but I would suspect that they will stick with their 5 that they rolled out in Chicago a couple weeks ago. But you never know. We'll see. Waiting for Will to join us. I've sent him the link. I haven't heard back from him. If he Larry V's us, we got plenty to talk about. There's plenty of fine folks in here chatting away. Veldheer, baby. Yeah, what's up? Them California boys better bring their long johns and go pack go from Romeoville, Illinois. What's up, Tommy? Krista, thanks for joining us. How are you? Nice. Do you think LA will kick short to test our special teams? Oz, without question. No doubt about it. How about AJ Dillon? I keep telling you guys. I don't know how many times I got to say it, but I suspect that we won't see much of Dillon unless there's an injury to Aaron Jones and or Jamal Williams. That is the reason, obviously, that he was thrust into the spotlight against Tennessee. We'll see. We'll see, though. You never know. Chris, thanks for the super chat. Not that I am promoting it, but a Saturday afternoon Packer game with some cocktails sounds really, really good. Chris, why aren't you promoting it? I am 1,000,000,000% promoting it. Yes, sir. That is exactly what I am talking about, my dog. Is that how the kids say it? I don't know. Kyle, thank you for the super chat. I'm watching Cheesehead TV after work now. Better that. Well, I just don't want you to get in trouble at work. My friend, it's tough out there right now. Lots of people without jobs. So you got a job. Don't make Cheesehead TV the reason you get fired. That's all I'm asking. Just checking for Will. He doesn't seem to be responding. Mister, yeah, 6 o'clock's worth. 3 o'clock, 9 works great. Oh, yeah. Okay, West Coast. They must tell time differently out there on the West Coast, but, there you go. Being able to bring Veldheer in is huge with David Bakhtiari being out. It most certainly is, without question, without fail. Look, I don't ever want to hear, and I know it's not anyone here, because the people who come to Cheesehead TV are learned and wise and understand basically football in general, but specifically Packers football and how they operate. But you know how it is on the internet when inevitably you get some moron out there go, oh, the Packers don't care about winning. They don't care about getting a championship. They just care about the play, getting banners for the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Gutekunst is a bad GM. We can stop all of that. Gutekunst has provided the Green Bay Packers with an extremely talented roster and has shown he is more than willing to augment said roster and to massage it and utilize every avenue available to him to improve it as the season goes on, to react to things. He has done yeoman's work. And I just can't stand these Packers fans, these entitled town morons who say that Gutekunst is a bad GM. He's a pretty damn good GM. Great? I don't know. He's on his way. But can we just dispense with this Gutekunst doesn't know what he's doing or he's a bad GM crap now? Thank you. Jory, interested to see Ramsey try to keep up with Devontae. I'm right there with you. That's something I wanted to talk to Will about if he ever shows up. Let me shoot him a message here. You comment on what that? If I call him big guy. See, these little guys, they like to be called big guy because then, at some point people think, oh, hey, I'm not a little guy anymore. Dustin, thanks for the super chat. Will is probably on Lebowski time. Well, he's certainly not on Lombardi time. Sean, thanks for the super chat. Goody is the man, always making us better. Go Pack Go. Feature Jonesy, Bears still suck. Sean, I thank you 1,000,000,000% for that super chat and for getting so many thoughts into one of them. That's amazing. That is very well done. What's up with the Veldheer talk? William, they signed Jared Veldheer. Veldheer was on the Colts practice squad. Yes, he played in Buffalo on Saturday, but now he is going to be a member of the Green Bay Packers. Oh, my God. I love it. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. All right. Well, cool. Might not have Will today, and that's how it rolls. Dan Quinn to the Cowboys. Is that official now? Awesome. Ask Will about his spotted cow story, please. Nathan, I'm down for that. Nagler's live. It's 6 p.m. Monday. Why not, Michael? Come on now. You have all of us, and that is something. Pogs, of course. Gary, Jared Veldheer is playing Yahtzee, not Go Fish. That's pretty good. Will Veldheer start at left tackle? Mark, I said before, I'd be very surprised if he's in the starting lineup on Sunday. I think this is a depth signing right now. We'll see how things go. Obviously, the Rams are a formidable front, but, I would suspect, now don't hold me to this because this is just guesswork on my part. I would suspect they will roll out the 5 guys that they sent out to start in Chicago. But we'll see. We'll see. You never know. Because of the fact that, hey, I mean, Veldheer steps in, 20 minutes with 20 minutes notice in a playoff game against Seattle last year and played very well at right tackle. I mean, I guess 4 days is more than enough to get him up to speed, but we'll see. Jake, thanks for the super chat. Do you expect a lot of Lindsley Jenkins double teams on Donald? Does the Pope wear a funny hat? Yeah, I think, clearly you got to center everything you do protection-wise around Donald. There's no doubt about it. But look, that's going to be nothing new for the Rams, for their defensive coaches, for how they want to scheme and get pressure on things, etc. I don't think there's any doubt that the Packers are going to want to test Donald early. And I know that sounds weird because he is such a force and a star player, but I've got to think with that rib injury, you want to test him out, see how he's doing. And that's, if he plays, which I know the Rams have put it out there that they quote unquote expect him to play. But you got to think that's somewhat gamesmanship as far as, we don't know how bad those ribs are. We'll find out. If he does play, the Packers are going to have to want to, try and run it up in there a little bit and see if they can test him out. But, you never really know in this day and age, especially about, when it comes to the injuries and guys who are, you expect them to play. Well, that's great, but expectations and reality are sometimes different. What am I drinking? What am I drinking? Oh, I'm drinking. You know what I'm drinking? I don't know if you follow me on Insta, but I put it up the other night. I got a bunch of Miller up in here for you. Wisconsin style. Oh, here he is. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I give you Will Blackmon, former Packer, joining us now. There he is. Will,
can you hear me?
Buddy, I got you. You're live, so don't say anything too derogatory or inflammatory because, the internet is listening.
You're good, bro. Hey, that's my fault.
I'm so okay. I went back and I looked at the exchange and I was like, I know, because initially I was like, can you come on today or tomorrow? But then I switched when we were talking about timing to today, but I didn't probably make that very clear. So I thank you for jumping on, which is essentially last minute here.
Yeah, we good, bro.
It's good. Hey, wait, I got to play something. I had a whole introduction planned for you, and now the timing ruined it all, but I got to play this. So wait. I don't know if you can see the program here. I didn't put audio to this because I don't want YouTube to flag it, but look at this gentleman here. Look at this gentleman here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Will in all of his glory, at the height of his powers. Look at him. Deion Sanders this nonsense into the end zone.
And I had a body full of wine that day.
I love it. Now, wait, I got to ask you about this. So you were jumping into the stand. Were there Packers fans in the stands there?
It got cut out?
Yeah, that's where it ends.
Oh, dude, I drank beer from a Viking fan.
That's what I was gonna, because it cuts away. I didn't know, like, it cuts to a Vikings player at that point.
Well, because I remember the year before, or maybe it was 2 years, Fred Smoot jumped in our stands.
1,000% correct.
So
yes.
when I high step, I was like, oh, I'm about to go in there. And I jumped in. And I remember all the Viking fans would douse me with beer, and I was just like, let me get some.
I think they do show that on a replay. I just
what's funny is, so like going to Boston College, our rival was like Notre Dame. I didn't really get into it. We had rivals in high school, and then even playing, I was never a big rivalry guy. You know, I understand Bears, Packers is the big one. I never got into that, but there was just something about the Vikings that really got me thrown. I don't know what it was.
Especially when you were there. Like, it was bad.
I mean, obviously it got worse when Favre went there.
Yeah,
but we were playing in the Metrodome, and then that damn mascot will come by on his motorcycle and ride in front of us.
Ragnar.
Oh, Lord. And I couldn't wait to do something.
I love it. Well, you know, you're an absolute legend, not only for that moment, but for many others. What's funny is I don't think most Packer fans probably remember. They've probably blocked it from their memory. But you are a Super Bowl champion with the New York Giants.
Yes.
Like, you got that ring. And I believe you came through Lambeau that year.
No, we did. And you know what? It was more so I was happy for like selfish reasons, because I always tell people, okay, when you get either a new head coach or a new general manager, essentially there's like a 4-year plan, right? You get 4 years, you get that window to make something happen, you know,
put your imprint on, right?
Or at least go in the right direction.
Yeah.
And we finally hit year 4, and I tell you what, I remember there was so many things. Like there's a wives' tale, like, oh, if all the wives are pregnant, you know, we're going to the Super Bowl. And sure enough, everyone's wife was pregnant, including mine. And I remember that meeting, man, when Mike McCarthy showed us that blank roster. He's like, let's fill it up. And I'm like, oh, this is it, you know? And unfortunately, I was coming back from my awful knee injury. And then, yeah, man, when I got released, I was like, oh my gosh, like this sucks, dude. So for me to come back, I didn't have any revenge in my mind. I was just like, my gosh, all my friends got a ring last year. Let me just get one, please. So,
get one, right?
Yeah, no, I was excited about that.
I love it. All right. Well, so we got you here. We'll talk about, obviously we want to talk about Rams Packers, big matchup coming up on Saturday. Let me ask you something I've been asked a couple times already. Clearly the focus here, the big kind of heavyweight fight, is Davante Adams versus Jalen Ramsey. And obviously it's not down in, down out. You got to think they're going to move Davante around. The Rams are going to mix up coverages. But when there will be ample opportunities here. You got to think Davante on the perimeter, Jalen manning up against him. How do you see that playing out? Because both of these guys are at the top of their game.
Yeah, I think this is, you know, one of the greatest matchups that we will see all season. But it's, as much as we want to say it's going to be them two, you are right. It's going to be by committee. You know, this is the best secondary in the NFL. They are one of the smartest secondaries and the most confident secondaries, including not just having the right personnel, but they have the right coaches along with them too. I'm a big advocate for Aubrey Pleasant, because I had him when I was in Washington. I learned so much from him. He's gonna be a defensive coordinator very, very, very soon. Like, that's how good he is. So I think it's going to be a lot of that. So I don't really see so much of, you know, it's going to be the matchup. I think we could talk about that if it was during the regular season. We'll see more of that. But right now, these teams are trying to win. So they're going to figure out a plan to do their best to neutralize whatever they can do with Davante, even if they may roll to his side. But I really look at, you know, it's going to be huge for Aaron Jones to get going.
Well, that's what I've been saying the last 2 days now. I mean, last night when we figured out when the Bears lost and we knew the Rams were coming, I went live last night. And to me, it is about Aaron Jones. I think both of these teams want to get their backs going. I think for the Rams, clearly they want to get Akers going. That has been their bread and butter basically the last 4 or 5 games.
Right.
Is they know they're kind of hamstrung at quarterback no matter who's back there, and they've got to get that running game going. I don't think that the Packers have to get the running game going, quote unquote, so much as they have to get Aaron Jones going, whether it is via the ground or through the air. I just think this is a game where you want to feature that back. You want to get him in space. You want to get him, however you can, get him involved early and often.
Yeah, no, I think it is important because you think of, McVay and Shanahan and LaFleur, like this offense to have Aaron Rodgers is not even fair,
Right.
That's why he's
Right.
having the season he's having. That's why he's pretty much is going to be the MVP. And
Yeah.
it's very, very important this late. That's why it's huge for, A.J. Dillon, for him to get going, because he's going to be the one to just wear out, the defense. And then you bring the fresh body in, then next thing you know, you bring in Aaron Jones. And even just for putting him out as receiver, I don't believe, the Rams are going to match up personnel-wise with linebackers. They're going to have another defensive back. Now,
Right.
I think it's going to be a huge game for them to go 20 personnel, which is 2 running backs and no tight ends in a lot of situations where maybe you do motion him out wide and give him a lot of receptions. Then you have that option, too, where they have to respect the run game with A.J. Dillon. So I see that as a possibility. But, no, this is honestly low-key. I know we're looking at, Allen and Lamar, and we're looking at, Brady and
Right.
all that.
All these matchups, right?
Overall, like team-wise, this is a really, really good matchup.
Yeah, I very much agree. I think there's so much talent on both sides. It's funny because you look at the Rams with their decision, or whatever they were going to do at quarterback heading into that Seattle game, and you get through. You got to think, they didn't announce it, or they didn't tell anybody really until, they literally mentioned on the Fox broadcast not knowing who the quarterback was going to be until a few minutes before they went live. And Wolford goes out there and is hurt on the second drive. You got to think he took the snaps all week, right? Goff coming in there with a broken thumb, 12 days removed from surgery. I got to tell you, I was really impressed by the job he did, just not only operating the offense without many reps. Obviously, he's got practice in the scheme, but man, doing everything he did with that thumb looking the way it did, I was really impressed.
Yeah, but I feel like that's what we needed to see out of Goff, because we see him as, very basic. Everyone thinks he's not a tough quarterback, and to go in there and to do that is crazy. I have pins in my thumb right now. I broke it when we played in London when I was in Washington. I had to get surgery as soon as we came back from London, put a cast on it. And I tell you what, finger surgery is by far one of the most painful surgeries you can have. And for him to do that and come in the game and make that happen
12 days later,
was massive. Yeah, and I don't care what degree. If it was a scope or they would cut it open, it's still a brutal injury. But
right.
I'm curious to know, the mindset of the Rams going into that game. It's almost like they were like, we can still win this game with our backup quarterback. Let's just keep off just in case. But we're not threatened by what they can do to us offensively, and we have enough offensively to get through that defense, because frankly, I know, like I had Seattle going all the way, and I was just wishful thinking because I was excited, for it. But at the end of the day, anytime Seattle has done well, they had a top 5 defense.
It's been about the defense, absolutely, especially under Pete.
No matter how much
you were there. You were there. You know Pete. You know John. You know that program.
Yeah, no matter how much I love Russ and how great he is, and all the positivity, at the end of the day, when it comes push to shove in the playoffs, he needs that top 5 defense.
Well, I want to get to a few people here in the chat. Podcast 1919, thank you for the super chat. Couldn't miss extra cheese on a flight to Texas. Thank you for checking us in the middle of the air. That's nice of you. Mark is over here with his super chat. Thank you, Mark. Will, you were great on Sky Sports yesterday. Look at you, international man of mystery right here.
Yeah, what is that right there?
You got 2 pounds. Mark's saying, "What's up in Sky Sports?" Look at you breaking down stuff over in the UK now. What you're like international, man.
I lived there for 2 months last year.
Did you really? I didn't know that.
I lived there at Sky. I was in London working at Sky Sports. When they had NFL UK out there, those games, it was super fun. It's funny because there is a strong NFL community. Every game is sold out that's played out there, and they love and know their football. So I really enjoy it. So
it's crazy, right? Like my ex-wife, her older brother is an insane fan. We're still very good friends. He is an insane football fan. He's a monster New York Giants fan. He texts me all the time about American football, and he's desperate for the Packers to play over there because he knows I'll be there and we're going to go to that game together. But yeah, the community there is crazy, rabid. I'm so impressed every time.
It's cool because I was fortunate to play there twice, and both times were that whole week, and the whole environment is very, very similar to the Super Bowl. I kid you not. It is that magical. It's super cool.
I love it. To everyone asking or mentioning on the comments and the posts here, yes, we know Jared Veldheer is going to sign with the Green Bay Packers. Adam Schefter broke that news a little while ago. Go watch the first 5 minutes of this video. I talked all about it. I will ask you, though, how crazy is that? Veldheer plays for the Colts on Saturday in Buffalo, but because of COVID-19 and all the new kind of machinations of the practice squad and guys being able to called up from a practice squad for game day, etc. He is literally going to be the first guy ever to play for two different teams in the playoffs in the modern era.
Hold up. Okay. Can I interrupt that question?
Sure.
That's good. That can happen. But Dan Quinn is going to Dallas as
Dan Quinn. I saw that too.
So this is what's funny. So McCarthy, right?
Right.
Talks about I don't want to be a one-call defense.
And now he's getting what? What's he getting? Well, okay, but can you blame him though? After Mike went through Dom Capers and then went into Mike Nolan.
Okay, but what does Dom do?
You know,
Dom's playbook was an almanac. Okay,
and that's my point. Mike's probably sick of like so many calls, and he said that, but he also said he was never going to give up play calling again, and then he did that as soon as he got to Dallas. I think Dallas is a whole new Mike. You know what I mean? Like Mike is like, I don't want to deal with any of the nonsense I dealt with while I was in Green Bay.
Because just keep it simple.
Yes. And I think here's the thing. I think Dallas can run what they want to run. I mean, obviously there'll be an offseason. There'll be like movement player wise, but you know, I think I get it. I'm serious.
Clearly with him, they're going to draft Surtain, so that's happening.
Yes, right. I mean, look, I like Mike as a coach. I think I like him probably better than most people in Green Bay. I get why it was time for him to go. It is funny, though, watching Aaron Rodgers be revitalized with this scheme. And as you mentioned before, you know, when you give Aaron Rodgers some of these easy reads, even he mentioned it the other day where he said, like, a lot of my touchdown passes, I don't have to do much other than make sure I don't screw up the throw. Right. Because the guys are so wide open. The scheme is getting guys like pretty much, you know, it's rubs. It's like dart routes off of inline, whatever. You know, it's not too tough for Aaron to figure that out. Now, of course, it's a little bit tougher.
What's funny is those plays were checks before. Right. Those are like at the line adjustments for Aaron. Now those are play calls. So it's like he's doing that on his own anyway. But these are. But yeah, go back to Veldheer. I mean, there's nothing that says you can't. That they need depth. They need they need somebody.
Well, especially with Bakhtiari going down. I mean, to have that kind of peace of mind, it's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. So
I have a number of people in the chat asking about your spotted cow story. I don't know if that's something you can share or if that's something you've shared before or if that's something notable. All right, good.
I've had spotted cow before. No, there you go. I posted a picture of I had Michelob Ultra or whatever it was, and I was like, you know, before anyone tries to like ridicule me, like fair share of beer in Wisconsin. That was probably my problem my rookie year is I had too much beer. You know? That's probably
you're not the first young guy to come through Green Bay.
That's probably why I couldn't get healthy. Is that every time I had a beer, it probably weakened my system. So I was 21 years old, and I love me a glass of Guinness, dude. Believe it or not.
Oh. You and me both, man.
Yeah, but I will go to
I was in North Carolina. That's all I ate.
Rock Bottom in Milwaukee and just go down the list and just try. Let me know.
I love it. That is great.
Raspberry ale. I used to destroy that stuff, man.
That's the shit right there. That's great. Wait. So let's get back onto this Rams game. Well, you're looking. A lot of this is being, I mean, for good reason. Obviously, the number one defense, number one offense, scoring wise on both sides. It's expected that the spotlight is going to be on those two aspects. But you flip it around. You talk about the Packers defense. Who knows? I'm assuming at this point Goff will probably start. I mean, that's not a foregone conclusion. But with the Packers playing as well as they have, are you surprised that that Jair didn't get an all-pro nod, a first-team all-pro nod? Or do you think that the AP selectors got that right?
I think this year was tough because there were a lot of balls at that position, and you know there were guys who got double digits in picks. There was all kinds of things going on this year. So I mean, I think everyone knows his value. I love watching him play. I think he's exciting, but he is first team All Pro caliber, no question about it. So
Right.
those things are tough, those things are hard, but the most important thing is that teams know the value and fans know the value. So
that's true.
As
That's
much
very
as
true.
Awards, it is what it is. Their opinions, right?
That's precisely what they are, which is why I never get too worked up about it.
Picks and didn't make anything.
What's that?
But J.C. Jackson, did he have like 10 picks and didn't make anything?
Yeah. But, sometimes if you're getting picks, it's because guys are throwing at you because they think they can take advantage. Now,
hey,
you got to hold on to them. You got to make the play.
He had more in one season than I had my whole career. So.
Yeah, but that's because no one messed with you, Will.
Yeah,
no one threw at you.
I didn't figure out till late in my career. Like, look when they're throwing the ball.
It's the little things.
Well, it was hard too. Like in my defense, playing press man, you don't get to look at the football.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but
exactly. You're running, and you're in phase, and like you don't want to mess that up.
It wasn't until I started playing zone and safety, I started getting picks. So it is what it is.
It'll happen. What do you think as far as if you're looking at the Packers and you're looking at their roster, where do you think if you're the Rams and you're looking, how can we take advantage? Where do we look? Where do we go? How can we take it? Like, because look, it's a tough place to play in Lambeau. You've done it. You know it. It's January. It's going to be freezing. These guys are practicing in 70-degree weather all week, and then they got to get on that plane, go to Appleton, stay at the Paper Valley, and then take that bus up to Green Bay. It's freezing, blah, blah, blah. Where's the spot in this Packers roster where the Rams are looking and going, that's it. That's our maybe not advantage, but that's where we have to attack.
Yeah, I mean, I think you go opposite Jair. You try to work over there, and then I would definitely put a lot of pressure on the linebackers. I think that's something that the Packers will address, in the draft or maybe offseason. But I think that's somewhere where you attack and really, really stress them out with their zone running and play action and all that stuff. I think you really, really attack them. And I would stay away from Savage because right now he's playing at all-time high level. I mean, he's everywhere. And it's so funny. I remember who was it? Ryan Clark said on Twitter, like he reminds him of I forget. Oh, like Earl, And I was like,
that's high praise.
I was like, no, dude. I said that is Nick Collins, okay?
Right.
That is Nick Collins. Trust me. I don't know. He said, me and Joe Witt, we hold Nick to high regard. I was like, did you forget that I played with Nick?
Yeah, right. I was gonna say, wait, would you not know Nick?
Yeah, and Nick and I are still like really close friends till this day. And I'm like, trust me. And then some fan actually, he tweeted me a picture, a story of how Nick and Dunnar had identical combine numbers, height, weight, shuttle, 40. Yep. I mean, everything was identical. And I'm like,
that's why people were so excited about the pick. What's interesting too, I'm so glad you brought Nick up because fans don't remember. Fans have short memories, but it's funny because if you go back and you watch Nick his rookie year, even into the beginning of his second year, he's not Nick Collins. You know what I mean? Like he's still making mistakes. He's still figuring it out, much like Darnell has been. But now you look at the second half of this season, and hey, I'm right there in regards to you look at the early part of the year. I was very much like, man, he is not coming on the way they need him to. Hopefully that comes on as the year goes on. He develops much like Nick did. He's kind of coming along at the same pace that Collins did.
I think the biggest thing with Darnell, it was just his confidence. I think he always had like the high level ability, especially playing where he played. But the biggest thing for Nick is that he got Charles big brothered him.
Right.
Charles saw something. He was like, okay, like let me show you some stuff and really work with him to help him get to an all-pro level. So, no, like I said, man, it's going to be an interesting and exciting game.
We got a super chat from Matt. Thanks for the super chat. Thanks for the support. Matt also giving you a shout out from across the pond.
Oh,
big shout out to Will. He was excellent on Sky Sports yesterday. Look at you making fans across the globe. Love that he seemed to laugh at the idea Mitch will be back for more beatdowns against the Packers. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, the Bears can't figure it out at quarterback, and that's what you love as a Packers fan.
Yeah, I mean that was their guy. And I again, my wisdom is when you get a new GM, a new head coach, they get their guy.
Right.
The Bears traded up to get their guy, and so they were going to let him exhaust every opportunity to prove that he can continue to be their guy. Otherwise, he would have been gone, similar to Haskins. It was a short league with Haskins. That wasn't their guy. They had nothing invested in Dwayne Haskins. It was his job to like prove to them, like, okay, I can compete.
I can do it.
And he made it easy for them. So it's going to be interesting. It's interesting, man, because so right now I'm training guys for the combine and for the draft.
Right.
And one of the agencies that I'm working for, Rep One, they actually represent Mitchell. So it was a tough day for them yesterday because Big Ben.
Oh no! All their guys going out.
It was tough. It was a tough day, man. So we'll see. I think the hard thing with him, man, is just it was the play calling. Super tough.
Well, it's interesting, like, and we could go down a whole rabbit hole about how they did or didn't do as far as supporting him. But I think he's got talent. I think he's a great potential backup in this league. Never in a billion years should he have been taken top 5. And that put all the expectation on him, et cetera, et cetera. So, I'm fine with the Bears making mistakes. There's no doubt about it. I wanted to ask you, because I know we talked about this when we were on Instagram Live, but we probably haven't talked about it here live on YouTube, and I do want people to hear this story. Can you just take us back to the year when Mike McCarthy, because I love this story, and I know I've asked about it several times, but anytime I can get you to tell it, I love it. The year that Mike, because you mentioned it on Twitter, so you put it out in the universe.
I know I did.
The fact that you guys were staying in worse and worse hotels as you were losing, and then Mike finally said, if you want to stay in a better hotel, win a damn game. Because like, I know he tried to like play it off, but I've talked to enough people now to know that very much happened.
Oh yeah, and tons of like confirmation from everybody who chimed in who played on that team.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it was it 08 where we went 8-8?
Something like that. Yeah. Because it was Aaron's first year as a starter, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, I just remember the one that stood out the most was when we went to Jacksonville.
That was it.
That was the one, because I just feel like we noticed, like, okay, there were some areas we played in, they were okay, but I remember Jacksonville, and it was kind of like off in the cut somewhere. And we remember just walking through the hotel. We're like, dude, like we stayed in like way better places. I think we already played in Dallas, and Dallas was like a super nice hotel.
Right.
And we just looked around. I was like, wow, like this is like 48, dude. Like this is this is like a crime scene over here, man. And I just remember, I think it was Tom Jolly. He had to get a new room because there was all kinds of like mess, and I think he had like bed bugs or something in his room.
God, the worst.
We walked to like this restaurant. I think it was like a Ruth Chris something. We were just like talking about like, damn, dude, like this was bad. And sure enough, we ended up losing the game. That was a good game too, because I remember who was it? Bob Sanders he kept calling it one play.
Oh Jesus!
And we hated this one play. I remember AJ was in the huddle and Charles was like, dude, we're not playing that. AJ's like, what do you want me to do? He was like, bro, call this. He was like, all right. He called this, and then there was another play where he called this another one that was similar, and I think AJ tried to pretend like he didn't hear him. He's like, Charles, what do you want? And Charles called this play. And so we got in big trouble about that.
I love it so much.
We don't do that. We end up losing the game. That was a crazy season. And then we got back and we asked about like, what's up? And we had our meeting. McCarthy's like, look, guys, like I hear the chirp and I hear the chat about the hotel. Well, if you guys want to be in a nicer hotel, well, effing win a game. And then he took care of us when we went to Chicago. I think we stayed at the Westin. So
there you go.
Yeah,
I just love that. I love that story. I love that story for the story itself, but I also love that you initially dropped it on Twitter, and then all of your former teammates, like one by one, started chiming in on Twitter. Like Johnny Jolly, Charles Woodson, like everybody.
It's funny. Our son asked me the other day. He goes, "Dad, what was the most fun you had? Like which team?" I was like, "It's by far Green Bay." That was so fun. Like just all the guys, all the characters, all the people. Loved Mike. I loved everything. That was so much because there was so many stories that just happened like in the games or in the locker room. Like
I love it. I love it so much.
I wish like we could have had how it is now with social media. Like if we can document like Al and Charles, like their friendship, it was the funniest thing. It was almost like it was big brother Charles and like a little brother Al. Even though Al was older, but it was just the dynamic. The like prime example. When I forget who we were playing. I think we were playing the Colts, and Al had like incentives. Like he needed to get a certain amount of interceptions for his bonus. So I remember we were warming up, and Al runs on the field. And actually, no. So remember Pepper Burris, right? He
of course.
Had all these old school artifacts. He collected everything old. He had, you name it. He had like old cleats, old tape. He had like old busted helmets. He used to collect old school stuff because he was a trainer for so long.
Right.
And I remember Al, we were warming up. Al came out of the tunnel warming up like this with his hands up. I'm like, he doesn't run like that. What is he doing? So he runs out and he's doing all his drills like this. And then Charles walks over and he's like, "Is that Stickum?" He said, "Do you have Stickum?" He was like, "Wood." He said, "I need a pick today." He said, "You know that's illegal." He goes, "You're gonna get."
He's like, "I don't care."
He was like, "Well, Wood." He was like, "Man," he said, "Go change your gloves, man." He was like, "Come on, Wood." He said, "Go change your gloves." So he went in, and where did he get the Stickum? He got the Stickum from Pepper's shelf.
Of course.
Pepper had like,
I've seen video. I've never seen it in person, but I've seen video of Pepper, like that collection of like all that old stuff he has.
I'll try to use Stickum from like 1979.
Exactly.
That's the funny part about it.
I love it. That's phenomenal.
It looked like blood in my hands. I was like, that doesn't work right now. It's old, but there's so many things, dude.
Oh, that's great. I love it. I love it. Well, Will, I can't thank you enough for joining me today, man. Thanks for talking Rams, Packers. Thanks for reminiscing. Thanks for talking Packers at all with Cheesehead TV. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Anytime, I got you.